Friends, we started to discuss about human personality under the basic concept concerning the personality has already been placed before you for your consideration. Today, we are to discuss about personality as the subject matter of psychology, and by doing so, you all will get some important information relating to the concept of personality, and the information which you are to get today, you are to link with the class which we did earlier. Friends, personality as one of the important subject matter of psychology. When we start to discuss, it means or it covers all the parameters of human personality, particularly the basic concept, then support the definitions, the scope of personality, theories of personality, etc. The subject area is very extensive, and part by part within 10 to 12 classes we are to finish the whole unit. Friends, psychology, as we have discussed in our preceding class or classes, is the science of human behavior. As such, it studies every aspect of human behavior in systematic way. Human behavior is the result of responses towards the stimuli human being encounters for the satisfaction of own needs. In understandable way, behavior is resulted as the responses towards the stimuli present in the environment we live in. Friends, in this discussion of in this unit, we will again get some important information relating to the concept of psychology, because personality is one of the most important, concerns of psychology, and that's why at the time of discussing about personality, we are bound to discuss about psychology. And as we are discussing psychology from or considering, human life, we have mentioned here that psychology is the study of behavior of human being or human organism. But psychology can be defined this way. Psychology, when discussed in broader perspective, is the science which deals with the behavioral manifestation of all the living beings and things, as well as non-living matters and the phenomena of this great universe where we are existing, on with us different organisms of varied class or classes, as well as the nature has also been existing for our help. Friends, for explaining the concept of behavior, we have to understand the concept of stimuli, because in general way, we certainly always utter the term behavior, but in psychological perception, as psychology is the science of behavior, every explanation of psychology should be quite scientific. And for making the explanation of psychology scientific, we are bound to explain the concept of behavior from scientific parameter or standpoint. And when we are to do so, particularly we are to understand the concept of stimuli, and for your help, I am to place before you that stimuli is the plural form of the term stimulus. S-T-I-M-U-L-U-S. This is the singular term of the term stimuli. Stimuli means the events, things, matters, situations, phenomena of the universe, which basically stimulate our senses. And once senses are stimulated, by a particular event or situation or a problem or a matter or a phenomenon, means there is physiological reaction, and as the result of the reaction we manifest certain physiological reaction or reactions, and the reaction itself is, you see, considered as behavior of our physiology, where our psychic order has also close connectivity. So friends, stimulus or stimuli, the plural form, stimuli are the events, the matters, the things, the situations, the phenomena of this extensive universe where we, with the other living organisms and non-living matters and things are existing. And when the sense organs, any of the five sense organs, basic five sense organs or main five sense organs of our body, that is the nose, the eyes, the tongue, the skin and the ears, is stimulated, means is, you see, stimulated, there is stimulation, then there is physiological as well as psychological reaction, and we express it in our physiology, particularly in our face and other parts of our body. And the result itself is behavior, and psychology studies behavior of all living beings and organisms of this universe, and by doing so, psychology helps to understand the speciality of different categories of organisms as well as non-living matters of this universe in scientific way. Let us go back to the next slide. You see, as the personality has close connectivity with the behavioral manifestation of the living organism or organisms, and once we come back to the field of human organism, then for understanding personality we are to understand the concept of behavior, and for doing so the process of cognition, means the way of acquisition of knowledge by keeping connectivity or contact with different stimuli of this great universe or extensive universe. You see, there is the need of elaborate discussion or there is the need of elaboration. All the phenomena, events, as I have already explained, situations, things, beings present in the environment where we are existing, and the environment means the total surrounding of our existence are the stimuli. The stimulus, single form, very simply means about the phenomena, events, things, beings, etc., which basically stimulates, means vibration is being created or excitation is being felt. Excitations are created, or you see, which stimulates or excites our senses, basically the five sense organs of our body, which are the doors of our mind and windows of our soul. The stimulations in the senses mean about the excitement or excitements in any part or parts of our body or the physiology. Because of such stimulation or excitement, we expose a response either physically or mentally. Such response or responses are basically and very simply defined as behavior. And that's why when we go to the field of learning, then we see, particularly at the time of explaining the concept of learning, depending on the theory of connectionism or the connectionist theory, which is being provided by the great American psychologist Edward Lee Thorndike. He explains that learning is learning is the result of the connection between a stimulus and a response. So when there is a S means stimulus, R results, response results, and that response is nothing but defined in the term of psychology as behavior, and that is learning according to the theory of connectionism or the connectionist theory of learning, which is being provided by Edward Lee Thorndike, the great American psychologist. And that's why for understanding or to understand, learning so much well, these explanations have special importance, because these will help you not only to get the concept of behavior, but also understand the human physiological, impact on the process of behavioral, manifestation. At the same time, for understanding the concept of learning, we are to understand all these important explanations. Let us go back to the next slide. The issue of stimulation depends on the elements of our physiology, means physical chemistry. As such elements are different in us, we express our excitements differently, and this way our behaviors also differ in different situations. Even in case of a same situation, the excitement of two or more persons may be different because of the differences in psychophysical composition. This process of manifestation bears definite impact on the personality of every human individual, and thus, or this way, human personalities are bound to be different. Friends, our compositions may be physiological or psychological or different because we are different entities in this extensive universe. No two persons are alike because we are the product of genetic history, and we are manifesting the biological history of our generation or of our ancestors, and because of this we are different when considered from physiological parameter either or from psychological parameter, and because of such differences we certainly manifest or expose different excitements towards various stimuli of this great universe, and accordingly we manifest different behavior, and the formation of personality means become different, and the process of formation of personality also becomes different, and we expose different personalities. Let us go back to the next slide for making our concept concerning the personality very clear. Personality is one of the most important subject matters of psychology. I am repeating the same sentence. Psychology specially deals with the psychophysical capabilities and conditions of the living beings. The basic concern of psychology is the study of behaviors of all types of living beings and plants as well. Above all the behaviors of the living beings on plants, psychology also studies the behaviors of the non-living things and matters of the universe. As one of the most important elements or organisms of the universe, we, the human beings, psychology helps to determine the place of man in the universe by studying man's behaviors in detailed manner. So for understanding our place in this great universe, we are to understand our psychology, as well as we are bound to realize the concept concerning to human personality. Let us go back to the next slide. The study of man's behavior is very complex in comparison to the behavioral patterns of all other living organisms of this universe. And without proper study of man's behavior, we never can study man's personality. And without doing so, we never can assess human organisms so much well. Again, without the proper and thorough knowledge of man's personality, we never can realize all the diversities or differences of man's behaviors in diverse situations of life. So friends, for doing so, we are to understand personality, and by understanding personality, we can understand human behavior in proper manner. At the same time, we can understand the reasons or causes of differences. Let us see the next slide. For studying man with the help of the keyword knowledge and determining man's place in the world as one of the most important organisms, there is the need of thorough study of the personality of man. This term carries wide, extensive meaning and covers the psychophysical conditions, qualities, functioning, and social roles of man. So friends, what does personality do? Personality covers, means it carries extensive meaning, and personality covers means it includes the psychophysical, psychological, physiological, status and conditions, qualities and capabilities, functioning and social roles of man in this very complex, dynamic and extensive world where we are existing. Let us go back to the next slide. The term personality now come back, carries a different meaning for different categories of persons. The term is derived from the Latin term persona, which means mask, that was used by the actors in Roman theatre for changing their facial makeup. Personality very simply means the qualities that form a person's character. In other terms, personality means the qualities that make someone known, interesting or popular. Friends, the term personality has been derived from the particular term, means Latin term, that is persona, which means mask. And in the theatre, for playing different roles, in ancient Rome, particularly in Roman theatre, the actors used different masks. You know certainly so much well. Modi mask you have seen, or mask of different, different persons or different animals and organisms you have seen at the time of maritime shop, we wear all these masks. This term, Latin term persona basically means about mask. And these masks were used by the Roman players particularly to play varied roles in theatre. And from that term, personality, the term personality has been derived by us. And now friends, because of COVID-19, we are bound to use varied types of masks. And when you wear, for covering your face by the mask, by wearing mask, to get relief from the attack of COVID-19, then it gets difficult to recognize, your facial feature. And for doing so in Roman theatre, this term mask was, used by the players, and from that term, the term personality has been derived. Let us go back to the next slide so that we can get. People in general assess personality from physical perspective. What do people do? Who do not have any psychological perception, they basically try to assess personality from physical parameter or perspective. For such people who do not have any psychological knowledge or scientific knowledge, personality very simply means the psychological appearance of an individual. The external outlook of a person is personality for them. Means the appearance itself is personality for people without psychological knowledge, without scientific perception. But from psychological perspective, personality refers to the individual's characteristic ways of responding to individuals and situations. This way, from psychological perspective, personality refers to the psychophysical specialities and relationships of human individuals with different situations of life as per their physical and mental attributes. Friends, we manifest, in same situation even, we manifest our behavior or response differently. Why? Because of all these. And when in this particular situation, a particular person remains being calm, you become so much, so much frustrated or irritated. And because of irritation, you manifest, uncontrolled behavior, and we commit mistake. Why we commit mistake in life? Because we fail to control our internal forces, and we fail to respond according to the established ethics of social manner of behavior. And that's why we notice in social situation different types of behaviors by different people in different situations or in a particular situation. The behavior of a politician, the behavior of a teacher, the behavior of a cultural activist, the behavior of a social activist, the behavior of, you see, daily wage labor, the behavior of an industrialist, the behavior of a businessman. There are differences, and these differences are because of psychophysical attributes at the same time, because of different environments, influence of varied environments where they are living in. Let us go back to the next slide. The terms like quiet, sensitive, warm, sympathetic, honest, tall, short, thin, etc. are used to make different personality perspectives of different individuals. He is a tall man, fat man, short man, sensitive persons, irritated persons. You see, very sympathetic, warm person, honest person, dishonest person. These are some of the traits. Personality, according to the explanations of the psychological dictionary, here is a great psychological dictionary which is being edited by A.V. Petrovsky and M.G. Yaroslavsky. And the name of the dictionary is a concise psychological dictionary, and this dictionary is being edited by A.V. Petrovsky and M.G. Yaroslavsky. And here in this dictionary, there is a very extensive explanation concerning to the concept of personality. From Moscow, this dictionary has been published by Progress Publishers. And according to this dictionary, a personality is a system of quality which is acquired by an individual in object-oriented activity and communication. Number one, characterizing his involvement in social relations, and as heard. Number two, personality as a subject of interpersonal relations is examined in three aspects which form a unity, and the first one has been discussed already. On the second one, this is personality as a relatively stable sum total of his her intra-individual qualities, symptomatic complexes of psychological properties which form the structure of personality's character, peculiarities of temperament, abilities. This is explained by Boris Pavlov, Vladimir Nabil-Listein, Paul Marlin, etc. from the point of view of individuality. Number three is personality as the aspect of an individual's inclusion in interpersonal ties, where mutual relations and interactions which appear in a group may be interpreted as bearers of the personality of their participants. This way, personality is a very complex concept which represents all the physical and mental makeup as well as social relationships of human individuals. And for understanding, you see human place in society, you see our place in society. For understanding the differences of varied persons, individuality, we have to understand personality. Now let us say, human personality is characterized by some features or aspects or specialties which may be mentioned as given below. Number one feature, physical feature. By studying physical feature, we can understand human personality. And simply today, to this point, we are to discuss, and other parts I will discuss in later stage. Physical feature. What does it mean? Let us see. Physical feature means the physique of the human individual. Some are tall, some are beautiful, some are plain, some are robust, some are pretty, like this. Physique reflects the character of human being, of a human being or of human beings. Physical feature of human individual is one of the important features of human personality. Personality can be judged or studied from the physiological structures and features. By observing the physical features of different persons, we can assess personality of different persons. Tall, short, fat, thin, etc. are different physical features we do notice, and by observing all such categories, we can have different ideas concerning to the physical physical aspects of the persons we see and do encounter with in our day-to-day life or daily life. Once you see at the time of, if you have proper psychological knowledge, then by observing the physical feature, you can understand what kind of or type of person he or she may be. So friends, basically psychology says that face is the index of human personality. Face is the mirror which basically reflects the internal attributes of a particular person, and by studying facial appearance or appearances, we can study the inner feeling of a concerned person, and by doing so you can manage different things in proper manner in our daily life. Let us go back to the next slide. Perhaps that will be the last slide. Now see, physical features, we can make it plural. These are the physical features of different persons. See this one, see that one, see that one, see that one. That one is different. Once you cut the hair, the same, the facial appearance will be different. This is mustache, you see, mustache, long mustache. Abhinandan, when he was, you see, certainly he was in Pakistan, you certainly know about Abhinandan by his, you see, shape of mustache is well recognized by all of us. So friends, these are the different physical features which basically reflect the personality of different persons differently. Let us see the next slide. This is the last picture. These are the physical features. This is different eye, that is different eye, different face, different face. Face is different, face is different, face is different, face is different. You see, here is ear is different, big size here, small size here. Eye color is different, small eye, big eye. Friends, you have seen the advertisement in Colgate, and that's a beautiful. Colgate family is a happy family, and you see, by observing the happiness, by observing the facial appearances or appearance of that particular advertisement, you can certainly understand understand the status of a happy family or state of happiness. You can understand so much well. So friends, this much for today. This is the last slide. So next, in the next class, one feature is discussed with the help of which we can understand or we can recognize personality of different persons differently. Simply we have discussed here about the physical feature. The other features will be discussed in the coming classes. Thank you so much.